Good morning. Welcome to another Pebble in the Pond video. This one is going to be on the covenant of the bow. The sign of the rainbow has been hijacked, essentially, by a very deviant and immoral group of people. So I want to go over exactly what the rainbow is quickly and what it's for. And every time you see a rainbow, you can share that with them when it's being adversely used or carried. Okay, so basically it's in Genesis. 9 is the rainbow is the bow is a sign of a covenant, and to get to why God killed everybody and everything on the earth, we have to go back to chapter 6, and it involves sex. Well, yeah, imagine that. Same thing with Sodom, Gomorrah, and several other societies in the Bible and groups of people. Anyway, in chapter 6, it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them as wives of all they chose. So we have what I believe are angels of God, made in the image of man, obviously, and we know that they can obviously appear as men unto men. There are no women angels in the scriptures. And of course, it says they took them as wives, and the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. That's the first shortening of the days of life of man. There's another one that brings it to 70. That's another deal. Basically 969 years and around there down to 120, and they will die. 4, verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare them children to them, the same became mighty men, which are of old, men of renown. Huge men, giants, gladiators, if you will. So the sexual perversion was going on. Obviously, everybody is every male is a son of God, created in the womb, but these are not. These are, I believe, antediluvians is what they call them. I hope I said that right. They're also mentioned in another place in the Bible. Verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. That is the reason for destruction. And it repented the Lord that he made man on earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me. In other words, he was sorry that he made them. But Noah found grace, right? Okay, so and then we're going to flip to the flip side, when Noah is now getting off of the ark and made let's see, we'll go to 8:21. The Lord smelled a sweet savor. That's because Noah was making offerings unto the Lord of animal sacrifices. And the Lord smelled it, and it was a sweet savor, and said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. That's a condition. Neither will I again smite any more in every living thing as I have done. While the earth remaineth, there will be seed time, harvest, cold, and heat, summer, winter, and day and night shall not cease. So the order of things will stay as they are until Christ returns. So now to the covenant. In verse 9, God comes and says, and I, behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you. And verse 11, and I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of flood, neither shall there be any more flood to destroy the earth. Not that there won't be any more floods, but any more floods to destroy the earth. And so, in verse 12, and God said, this is the token of the covenant, the rainbow, which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. That means forever. And I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token, that is a sign of a covenant between me and the earth. Not just man, the earth. Covenant with all the animals and all the creation and everything that was killed. That's important. It's not just man. He values his creation and his earth as well. And it shall come to pass, verse 14, that when I bring a cloud over the earth, the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember. And that's important because it's not just about us remembering. It's God. He says there, I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you. So that means as he's looking down and he sees all the evil that is prevalent across the earth in all different forms and fashions, that he reminds himself he made a promise not to eliminate us with a flood. The waters, and let's see, I remember the covenant is between me and you and every living creature and of all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. 16, and the bow shall be in the cloud. And we've seen that they're marvelous, double rainbows as well. And I will look upon it, that is God, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between himself, God, and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, this is a token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh upon the earth. And that includes, of course, sinners and saints. The rainbow is for them as well. But a group of people, the LGBTQ community, which is have taken the rainbow, a sacred promise, a sign of the covenant and promise to God and man, and put it next to a symbol of diverse sexual deviancies in homosexualism, transgenderism, and any other form of perversion out of the realm of marriage and chastity. So number one, the rainbow is God's reminder not to kill us all for our sinful ways and deeds on the earth. And number two, it's for all sinners and saints to remember the wrath of God and the mercy of God.